Okay. So while I'm like, my makeup's not a big deal, but while I'm putting on my makeup, I wanted to discuss something. I was recently watching this new YouTuber. He's been on YouTube for about 3 months. Oh. I'm assuming, and I haven't gone through all his videos because there's so many YouTubers to watch that, you know, I'm just being realistic. I can't watch all of them. I'm going to do the best I can to watch maybe the most popular, but he's got 10,000 subscribers, and he is probably about my daughter's age. He's probably in his mid 20s. It sounds like he's in a university, and he talks about relationships and how to get the prospect of your liking, or the guy, or the woman, or for the woman, the man that they want, based on a man's perspective. And he's quite popular, and the reason why I'm kind of wanting to discuss it is because he has mentioned a few things that I think are kind of manipulative, and in a spiritual sense it's kind of like witchcraft, really. Like, if someone's meant to be with you, I think that your paths will cross, and it will happen as long as you're not engaging in things that will block your ability to meet someone new. Like, let's just say you're in a relationship that's abusive, or you're fornicating, or something that would go against what God's plan is for your life. If you're someone who believes in God, and I do, then God's going to make your paths cross. And if you're not you're not in a soul tie with anyone, so you're not preoccupied with the thoughts of a previous relationship, I believe that a person will meet the person they're meant to be with. I don't believe that you have to manipulate a situation to get someone to like you. I think you put your best foot forward, and the right person will come along. Because if you're someone who believes in God, you're supposed to live by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God. And he says he made a helpmeet, a person for every man. And I know society says that there's more women than men, but I really don't think God's a liar. I really refuse to believe that there isn't someone for everybody. And that this idea that the society, that the media has planted in people's minds about there not being enough men to women, has created quite the frenzy. People do some really manipulative things to get a guy to like them, or vice versa. Or then you see guys like with more than one woman, because he feels as though he's doing society a favor by dating more than one woman at one time. Because, like, I don't know. I don't know why you think that. God is not a God of my God. The God I serve isn't a God of confusion. He wouldn't create a situation where there wasn't enough for everyone. So, which means if you feel in your heart you're meant to be with someone, if you're not like, some people really just feel that they need to be in a relationship, that they're meant to be in a relationship, I mean. And if that's the case, then God will put that. I mean, you know yourself. Don't let someone else tell you what is going on for you. And so there must be someone out there for you. It's not someone else's husband, so let's not get that twisted, but there is someone out there for you. And the time of our lives that it happens varies. It could happen early, it could happen later in life. I remember working in a school, and there was this lady who she was very close to retirement, and she was such a sweet lady, great teacher. And she came to work one day, I think this is how the story went. And the guy who fills the pump machine, I guess they talked every time he came in. They ended up falling in love. I guess they dated and they fell in love. And she ended up having kids way late in life. And one day she came to work crying. When I met her, that already happened. So when I met her, she was married, happily married, really sweet lady, very happy. And one day she came in and she found that she had got a phone call saying that her husband had a heart attack at work. And she, as much as she was mourning his loss, she was so happy at the same time, because she said she had a chance to experience love. And some people never in their lifetime do it. Although late in life, she had a chance to experience love. And so we have this idea painted in our minds that there's this cookie cutter scenario for everyone that's supposed to follow. Like you go to school at this time, you get married at this time, you have kids at this time in life, and when you don't, you feel like you're a failure. And if you look at the stories in the Bible, nothing is ordinary. Every prophet's life and every player's life, every character's life in the Bible had extraordinary circumstances. So to be a believer and not expect that you're going to go through things, that your life may not look the cookie cutter scenario that everyone's saying that it should look like, I don't know. Maybe I think we really need to think about that. I really do. And I really don't believe that we have to manipulate a guy to get him to like us if he is a believer in God. So if he's a believer in God, first of all, he's not going to be trying to go to bed with you. And I know that's hard to believe, because nowadays everyone's going to bed with everybody, it sounds like, according to media and social media, and but there are people out there that are waiting until marriage. And is it possible? Absolutely. Did I know that before? No. Because people tell you that something's wrong with you if you're not in a relationship. So people scramble. Sometimes people will scramble to find anybody to hook up with. It's just to say that there was somebody. And sometimes it's not the person that God intended them to be with. And so a lot of times you'll know, because there's no happiness in those relationships. This guy is very smart, and he's very assertive, and he's humble at the same time. It's hard to explain. So he'll speak his mind and tell you what he thinks about relationships, and about what guys do and what girls shouldn't do, and even age appropriateness. Like, he's been very clear that some of the things he's saying isn't for like high school age students. Like, he was talking to me about a scenario where someone was asking how to pick up your professor, which would be a university or college teacher. And he made it very clear he wasn't referring to high school students trying to pick up their teachers. So he's not referring to a 13-year-old trying to pick up their grown high school teacher with family and picket fence kind of thing. So he has standards, and I appreciate that. Based on his age, I really appreciate that, because at his age he could be saying all kinds of stuff, but he set some standards, and he's also made it very clear that he didn't intend for his channel to do what it's doing. And it's going to be interesting to see where he goes with this, because I'm not naive enough to think, based on my age and everything and my experiences, that you shouldn't have a plan when it comes to interacting with men. Like, you really need to know where their heads are at, and because not everyone, even someone who says they're a Christian, they're not always Christian. They're not always Christian. And when I say that, what I mean is that we don't choose. God chooses us. We don't choose We don't establish whether we qualify for his standards are. But the Bible is clear about what his standards are. We just choose to not look at it a lot of times. You know, it's important that we look to see whether we are accounted worthy, or that he approves of us. His word says what his qualifications are. One day I think I'm gonna go out without makeup. You know, when I was younger, I just wore eyeliner, and one day I decided, no, I'm gonna go out without anything on. And people thought I had a cold. People thought I was sick. So at night, I am putting on castor oil on my lashes, and they've grown up quite a bit. You can actually still see them. These are my natural lashes. And because I think that we put too much emphasis on makeup to make ourselves look good. You know, I don't know makeup makes people look beautiful, and I appreciate that. It makes you look more polished and sometimes more professional. But I don't want to be in a situation where one day I don't have access to makeup and I don't recognize myself. Anyway, that's all I do, really. And then I put on lip gloss. Sometimes I'll put on lipstick with the lip gloss and liner. But this is pretty much what I do. My hair isn't completely dry. The gel isn't dry, so I'm going to dry that and then leave. What else? Yeah. In relations to, you know what? I gotta go dig out this guy's name. Maybe I'll put the link in the description box. He's quite intelligent. It's intriguing to hear him speak. And it's almost like being in a room with him one-on-one. Just when you hear him speak, you just really don't want to talk. You want to hear what he has to say. So he says he's not going to do it forever. I mean, I don't know any YouTubers like, I mean, YouTube is too young to know who's going to be doing it forever or for their lifetime. But he's made it very clear that he has no intentions. Like, it almost seems like a burden to him right now, which is kind of sad, because you really want to do YouTube if you enjoy it, not because it's a burden. So anyway, going to the hospital has been quite the circus. You never know what you're gonna get when you get there. So I'm gonna finish drying my hair and see what he's doing today.